Hello and welcome back to the starting three. I'm Tyler Bednar.
No Robinson.
And Sarah Gallagher.
And we've got a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right into it. I think we should start with the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
The finale is happening tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time, the United States versus Venezuela in Miami. There have been a huge upsets. Japan didn't even make it to the semifinal, and they won it all last year. What do you guys think happens in this finale between Venezuela and the United States?
Team USA. That's it. That's
I'm
it.
I'm gonna go with Venezuela. Venezuela has some of the top recruits just right next to the Dominican Republic. They hire those guys who are determined, um, who come from unfortunate, underserved backgrounds, and they are. I feel like they just have a lot of determination because it's like they're when they. I was talking to this one Dominican guy. I was like, "How do you guys know how to hit the ball so far?" He says, "He goes, imagine you're playing with sticks and rocks." I was like, "Oh, well, that means that the accuracy. If you're playing with a stick and a rock, and now you're playing with a huge bat and a baseball,
Yeah.
like that, you're going to think that's like 100 times easier." So, give me Venezuela.
You have any betting? Any bets, either of you, on the game?
Um, I never really thought about the betting side of stuff. I just want to talk about the lineup for Venezuela. I talked about it before in a previous episode about how good the Dominican lineup was. The United States beat them in the semifinal 2-1. It's probably the greatest lineup ever constructed, with how many all-stars, how many guys are on that team. Venezuela's got a pretty good lineup too. Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Garcia, Luis Arias, Ezequiel Tovar, Gleyber Torres, Wilyer Abreu hit the big home run against Japan to beat Japan. Uh, William Contreras, Jackson Churio, like there are so many dudes on this team. Not to say that the United States doesn't, because the US does, obviously, but it's awesome to see how international baseball is. It just continues to get more and more international. These different countries are being really well represented. I think that within the next couple World Baseball Classics, we'll have a lot of representation from Italy, like people who were born in Italy, because we all have seen they were a couple outs away from making it to the final against the United States, and that would have been a huge deal for that country. So I just think the sport is awesome. This is just the 2023 one was awesome with its finale. This one will be really fun too. I think the United States is probably going to win it. I'm a little worried about Nolan McLean as a starting pitcher. He didn't have a good start in his first time out. But it sounds like Venezuela is using a bullpen game because they've or not. No, that was Team Italy. So I'm not exactly sure. Let's see what the pitching matchup is. But it's going to be a fun game. I think the United States wins. It's gonna be really close though.
Yeah, I'm seeing online that I think US is favored to win. So I think you're right with that.
Eduardo Rodriguez is the starting pitcher for Team Venezuela. Um, he had a start and did not have a great start in his last time out, but neither did Nolan McLean. So we'll see what happens. Um, but it'll be a lot of fun. There's just so much talent on both of these rosters.
Yeah.
I agree.
Did you guys see the drama that ended the Dominican USA game?
No, what happened?
Basically, full count, 2 outs, US up 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Runner on third base, and the uh, 9-hole hitter Geraldo Perdomo is at the plate. Pitch comes in, it's pretty low, called strike three for the United States to win the game. If that pitch was properly called a ball, it would have been first and third with Fernando Tatis Jr. up. And the Dominican could have probably, I mean, had a chance. Mason Miller is a very good pitcher, has dominated since like September. I think people were like 0 for 50 with 39 strikeouts against him, I think is the stat. But there was a chance that maybe Fernando Tatis Jr. could keep the line moving and give tie that ball game up. But that was huge. And then there's been drama between Cal Raleigh and his his teammate Randy Arozarena, in the Mexico versus the United States game. Randy came over to try and shake his hand, and Cal did not had no part of it. And then Randy in after the game basically they're teammates. Literally in a couple days they'll be back together in the clubhouse in Phoenix. So we'll see how all that goes. I think it'll be an interesting thing to watch for during the regular season.
Yeah. It's always interesting to watch, like, yeah, as you said, like say in hockey too, or just different sports and whatever, soccer, it's just like so interesting to see how people act like if they're going against each other compared when they're actually teammates. So I find that very interesting.
I think it was kind of I understand both sides of it. Like Cal Raleigh, like, oh, you're playing in a meaningful game. I don't want to like it almost feels like you're trying like he's trying to like get in your head. But because of the trauma that happened, just like give him a little tap on the glove. You don't need to bow to him. You don't need to like hug him, but just acknowledge like, hey, we're teammates 7 months of the year.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it's not that big of a deal, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. On the same page.
Me too. I 100%.
On the same page.
The other thing I wanted to say, Noah, I was thinking about you on Sunday because my family's big Oscar watchers. We love watching the Oscars. I have not watched like I had only watched one movie that was nominated for like and it was Marty Supreme. That was the only one I'd watched. And we printed out a sheet of all of the movies that were nominated for all the awards. And I
Mhm.
decided we're going to test how accurate a betting site is with regards to if it's able to accurately predict who wins. So I went to Polymarket and I put down the every single betting favorite about 10 minutes before the show started. I wrote it down like that they were going to win.
Oh,
And I also put down the percentage that it had. I want you to guess. I already told Sarah this. I
Mhm.
want you to guess how many out of the 24 movies were correct just based on doing that.
I'm gonna say two.
Two? No, much higher.
Oh, all of them.
20 out of the 24 that were betting favorites won.
Well,
That's crazy.
you're trying to ask why the betting because I'm in the Screen Actors Guild and see why that coincidence would occur.
I was just no, I was just trying to see how accurate Polymarket was. That's all it was. I was just interested to see like, you know,
Well,
10
I can.
minutes before the show, these movies are all having the betting favorites or they have a percentage that's higher. I wanted to see if like Polymarket like if it actually would work because I'd never used Polymarket. So I
All right.
didn't put any money down. I'm not a betting man, but I just wanted to see. So I looked it up and out of the 24, 20 of the ones that were projected to win based on Polymarket won.
Wow. I mean, so I would say I'm going to answer my question, right? I would say that because you can kind of tell who's going to win. Me being a part of it, I am actually part of the nomination committee. So
Oh,
I got to
cool.
vote.
You
Yeah, I
did?
got to, yes, yeah, I get to vote on all the Oscar movies and screenings, and I get movies and screenings sent to me through the mail. And every time it's award season, I always get everything. It used to be you used to have every single DVD from every nominated movie. And they kind of like phased it out. I mean, you're still getting DVDs, but I probably get like 2 3 DVDs. In my car, I have the movie Anora. You know that movie?
Yeah.
I got that movie sent to me before it got won Best Picture at the Oscars, and it had just only won Sundance. And I had watched that movie blindly in my car, and I was like, "This is a very good independent movie." And I was like, "Bravo, bravo!" Right? And so I was like, "That's when I was using that award experience." But now imagine if we you're going to those the screenings that aren't just through DVD and aren't just by that are they're in person. I get to talk to everybody and their thoughts about how they felt on Honora and
Yeah.
how they felt up against one battle after another. I know they're 2 different years, but just for an example. Uh However, when they are comparing and contrast, you can genuinely see the actual element in the room of which film will win and which film won't. And also, it's general representation that people who are voting are people in the film business, and they know the reputations of which person and the other person and whatnot. Music, I personally believe that music streams are fixed. I don't think that that's. I feel like Drake could be paying off his music labels paying like Sony, so it could come up a little bit more times in the shuffle rotation because sometimes Drake is playing a little bit too much in shuffle, and it's supposed to be
And the
shuffle.
shuffle.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
isn't Drake
funny.
coming up too much in shuffle? I'm not saying Drake's bad, but I'm like Drake is coming up a lot more in my shuffle. But I think it's the same thing with movies. So when I'm looking at this nomination list and I see certain films, do you know what it was that they didn't get the category right on Tyler?
I don't have the sheet, but if you want me to go grab it, I can go grab it.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, just give me a few minutes because I think it's downstairs.
Okay, and then I'll just keep mumbo jumbo rambling.
Double double rambling.
Yeah.
I do have one thing to say about the Oscars.
Hmm.
My favorite part of it, well, one of it, was obviously Michael B. Jordan winning the best actor for Sinners, but he celebrated at In-N-Out.
Oh, yes, I love that too. That's
Like,
yeah.
imagine you win your big Oscar, your big one, and you go and you celebrate it In-N-Out. Like that made me so happy.
That yes, that's it. And but did he have the? That's what do you know what people? That's actually a tradition in California,
Oh,
when
it is.
but not for Oscars, usually for Emmys. When
Oh,
people
sure.
would win Emmys, because Emmys are a lot more undercover. The people who win Emmys are a lot more
Chill.
reserved. Yeah, they're a lot more chill. But and then but the Emmys are the highest distinction in film and TV, and
Oh,
so
very good.
the highest award, and so they would go to In-N-Out, and they would all have the Emmys chilling on the table at In-N-Out,
Oh,
eating a burger.
when
So
I
I like,
saw him win, I was like so happy. And then he goes to In-N-Out. I was like, oh.
yeah, I like that too.
Did you hear the drama with Timothy Chalamet and like the ballet controversy?
Mm-mm.
He like got a lot of backlash because he was on this like I think podcast with Matt or something with Matthew McConaughey, and he was kind of like talking bad on like he's like nobody wants to do theater or ballet or something like that.
Oh, I did see that. I did see it. And then people were like, "What do you mean to me?"
What do you mean, Timmy? No, but it was crazy to me because like people were making small jabs at him all night because of that comment.
Jack O'Connor, oh, the Texas
Yeah.
French guy. He's
He
like,
was he was scary. I don't know.
Were there any that surprised you, Noah, from a winning standpoint?
um, you know, I was surprised F1 got a Oscar, and only because it was Apple's first film. Uh,
Is
and
he
I
cool?
see that it was. I don't know if you guys can hear that tree. Is that too loud?
I don't know.
Okay. But it was Apple's first. So I was really surprised that F1 got an Oscar, especially since it's Apple's first film. It makes sense for sound. I would have thought visual because their opening shot was just so cool in that F1 movie. I really liked that. The, the Porsches and everything that was very visually appealing. Um, for sound, I feel like they did that mainly because of like the announcers and just the dynamic, how dynamic it is. One battle after the another, uh, I didn't finish. It was a bit too long, but I knew it was gonna win Best Picture because of who.
Who was in it?
Leo, my
Oh,
boy
DiCaprio?
Oh, that's
Leo.
right.
So they're always gonna. I mean, Leo, of course, Leo's gonna perform, and then they also had the new girl in it. What's her name? The one that was pregnant in the film.
I'm looking at the
I didn't
picture.
watch any. Like I said, I only watched
Oh,
Marty Supreme, so I have no idea.
oh, yes, that's right, that's right. I didn't see Frankenstein. I want to watch Frankenstein.
But there were some that were nominated in certain categories where I didn't even see them, and I would have put them as winning because of the category, like costume design and makeup. Frankenstein was going to win that because if they had good enough
And that
like
was
in that category, it just worked. Sound for F1 makes sense. You would have thought that visual, like you said, visual effects that F1 would have won as well. Like Silver Summer, it's like it's kind of just built for that movie to win.
Mhm. And even when I'm looking at now, I'm really surprised Sean Penn is still winning Oscars. But he did play a really funny role in one battle after another. I did like him because it was when he came up, he was like, "You like black girls? I love them. I love," and that's literally what he said. It was like, what is going on in this film? Why is Sean Penn like interrogating this guy about black girls? But it was I liked it. I'm glad he won an Oscar. I actually met him at the grocery store in Malibu, and I didn't know who he was. And I was with my neighbor, surprisingly, because I went with her. And she says, "Oh, Noah, this is Sean Penn. Sean Penn." And I was like,
Hey.
I don't know. Did he make up the pen or?" And now I just remind every time I see Sean Penn, I'm like, grocery store guy, but he's way bigger than a grocery store guy. He's cool.
I'm saying animated movie for 2026 is Hoppers. If that's not next year on the ballot, I'm gonna be in shock.
It will be. Did you see K-pop Demon Hunters?
No, was it good?
So I actually got forced to see K-pop Demon Hunters, and I got like what's it called? Like I got bamboozled. It was an intervention. I thought I was gonna go see a different movie, and it was like my friend's younger sister was like, "Let's go see this horror movie," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, a little sister, my friend's little sister wants to go see a horror movie with everybody, and it was her idea, and it was like 7 people, and so we went. Turns out it was K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, I'm looking like
Yes. It was
Well,
K-pop.
that's a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes though.
No, but like you should watch it. It's on Netflix. And I was like, and then when they finally like I was in the movie theater and they said, this movie's on Netflix, right? I was like, what? I was like, why don't we just watch it on
Wait, did
Netflix?
it win a Grammy? Or I mean, not a Grammy, an Oscar?
Yeah, it won an Oscar. It probably did win a Grammy. You should listen to Lollipop by the Boys, the song. Lollipop's a good song.
Lollipop.
That was another movie where it had two categories that were just built for it to win. The animated feature, I just assumed that it was going to win, and then original song Golden also won. And I was like, I saw that on the list, and I was like, no matter what, I'm just going to choose it because I think it's going to be it was the heavy favorite. It was like 90 to 95% chance for both of those. Briefly, do you guys want to talk about March Madness because it's starting today, technically?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to hear my like final four?
Sure, let's hear the final four.
Yeah.
I did UConn versus Illinois, and I have UConn winning, and then I did Arizona versus Michigan, and I have Arizona winning.
Duke versus Siena Duke. Ohio State versus TCU. Oh, wait, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Oh no, it's okay. I have UConn winning the bracket, the tournament.
Oh, okay, UConn's winning your bracket.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say TCU versus and then Duke versus St. John's versus Northern Iowa, Kansas, maybe Kansas. I'm gonna say Duke again. I'm really favoring Duke,
Right, nice.
of course. Michigan, Michigan versus Duke, UCLA.
Did you join the bracket? You should join it.
Yeah, I did. I did. I did. I
Oh,
did.
good, 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 good.
Okay. UConn. I'm gonna go Duke. Did you go already, Ty?
No, I was going to give my final four. I was going to have Duke. I was going to have Michigan. I was going to have, where's Purdue at in this? Because they're playing really good basketball.
Yeah, they are
Um,
playing really good basketball.
Wherever they are at, I'm going to have them winning their
First
their
round.
their spot.
Absolutely.
Um,
First round to Miami.
where is Purdue? Hold on. Oh, so then I'm going to have uh Duke, Purdue, Michigan, and Houston.
Nice.
Because I just think Purdue is playing